Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is your world history class. This is the first lesson about the Great War. For the Do Now activity, I want you to look at the picture below. This is a clue to help you work out one of the causes of the First World War. And if you can see, we have blocks here, or cubes. So the answer is the power blocks. And the power blocks is an association of groups, especially nations, having a common interest. And we will explain further what we mean by power blocks. The learning intentions: to understand how the Franco-Prussian War led to the First World War, to understand how the system of alliances that built up across Europe led to the First World War, to understand why the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a major cause of the First World War. Success criteria: I can identify the alliance and the Triple Entente and describe their systems that developed across Europe. I can describe the Franco-Prussian War. I can explain the consequences of France's defeat. I can analyze, predict the consequences of assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. The First World War. The First World War started in 1914. The reasons it started go back as far as 1871, when France was heavily defeated in the Franco-Prussian War, and these maps show the location of Prussia and the extent of its territory in 1871. So as you see on the map on the right, this map, as you see Prussia on the map, it's in orange here. So this is the territory or the land of Prussia. And if we go to the other map, this one, so we can see the extent of the territories. So the orange part was all belong to Prussia, and the pink part is other German states. Thinking task. Think about how the defeat of France in 1871 might have led to another European war in 1914. These are activities to be done in the class. The Franco-Prussian War. The Franco-Prussian War, or Franco-German War, in 19th of July 1870 till the 10th of May 1871. It was a conflict between the Second French Empire and the Kingdom of Prussia. Prussia was held by the North German Confederation, of which it was a member, and the South German states of Baden, Württemberg, and Bavaria. The Prussian victory brought the final unification of Germany under King William I of Prussia. So which countries or areas helped Prussia defeat France? What was the consequences of the Prussian victory in your opinion? The Treaty of Frankfurt. As a result of the Franco-Prussian War, France lost the territory of Alsace-Lorraine on its border with Germany. If you can see the land in pink on the map, so this territory belonged to France, and France lost it in the war and it became a German territory. It also had to pay Germany £200 million in compensation. A new imperial constitution was set up in the now unified German states, with William I as emperor or Kaiser, and Prussia firmly in control. The path to war. Now that you have learned a bit more about what happened to France after its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, are you able to add any more ideas about how this might have led to the First World War? So let's explore some more reasons. Germany realized that France would want revenge for the defeat and treatment in the terms of the Treaty of Frankfurt. As a result, Germany made alliances with other countries to prevent them from helping France. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. They joined together to form the Triple Alliance. France was left feeling humiliated and vulnerable, so it also made alliances. Great Britain, France, and Russia joined together to form the Triple Entente. Entente. Entente is a French word and it means understanding. The development of this alliance system in Europe eventually caused a war between Austria and Serbia to spread beyond the Balkans in 1914. So, what happened? France was also left feeling angry about losing territory and having to pay so much money to Germany as part of the Treaty of Frankfurt. This combination of powerful alliances and a gut guess was to have catastrophic consequences. The dual alliances. 1871, the Franco-Prussian War resulted in defeat of France. Germany began to make alliances with other countries, strengthening their position with Europe and preventing France from gaining allies, and attempting to regain her lost land of Alsace-Lorraine. 1878, the Russo-Turkish War saw losses for Turkey and increased influence for Russia over the Balkan states. It also revealed Russia's clear intent to seek further power in this region. 1879, Germany signed an alliance with Austria-Hungary known as the Dual Alliance. The two powers promised each other support in case of attack by Russia. Also, each state promised to stay neutral if the other was attacked by another European power. As you can see, the chain of friendship published in the American newspaper, the Brooklyn Eagle. Who, what, why, when. So if you can see the countries, every country had an alliance with the other. The Triple Alliance. 1881, Italy lost out to France in an attempt to establish a colony in North Africa and wanted support against further losses to France. 1882, the dual alliance between Germany and Austria-Hungary became a triple alliance in 1882 when Italy also signed the agreement. Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy were now allies. They promised to help each other in case of war with any other nation. For example, any nation that attacked Germany would now also have to go to war with both Austria-Hungary and Italy. The issue is that the terms of the alliance were kept a secret from the rest of Europe. The Triple Entente. 1893. As a result of the terms being kept secret, France believed that the Triple Alliance was an offensive alliance aimed at her. In reality, the Triple Alliance was a defensive alliance. But after being easily defeated in 1870s, France feared German influence and power. As a result, it joined with Russia in the Franco-Russian Alliance in 1893. In 1904, the Entente Cordiale was signed between Britain and France, offering mutual support and security against Germany's growing power. In 1907, Britain and Russia settled some long-running disputes and joined forces against the increasing threat of the Triple Alliance. Great Britain, France, and Russia were now joined together in an alliance called the Triple Entente. The word Entente is French and it means understanding. The changing face of Europe. Using this is an activity that has to be done in the class. Making links. On a clean page, write down the 6 main countries. Next, make as many links between the different countries as you can, including rivalries, fears, alliances, agreements, dates, and names. Show rivalries in red and alliances in green. For example, you have Britain and Russia in red or in orange, as you can see here, originally revolves over land for empires, India. In green, you have the alliance. It signed the Anglo-Russian Agreement in 1907, solving the colonial problems. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ إِلَّا تَفْعَلُوهُ تَكُنْ فِتْنَةٌ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَفَسَادٌ كَبِيرٌ. And those who disbelieved are allies for one another. If you do not do so, that means protect each other, there will be fitna on earth and great corruption. And this is an example of alliance in Quran. After Allah mentioned that the believers are the supporters of one another, he severed all ties of support between them and the disbelievers. So the alliances, they also help each others, they support each others. And this is a good example from Quran of how the disbelievers are alliances and how the Muslims or the believers are also alliances, and they are very different than one another, but yet they are very similar to one another. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. So the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Franz Ferdinand caused a series of events to occur. These events led to the outbreak of the First World War in June 1914. But why was this event so important? This is a picture of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Who was he? He was born in a city called Graz in Austria. He was born on 18th of December 1863, and he became the heir to the throne of Austria-Hungary after the death of his father and cousin. And this is a picture of Austria. Serbia and Bosnia were both regions south of Austria-Hungary. They were not ruled by their own king or queen, but by the leader of Austria-Hungary. Some of the Serbian and Bosnian people did not want to be ruled by another country and wanted their own leader. So a group of Serbian men called the Black Hand, they decided to attempt to assassinate Franz Ferdinand while he was visiting Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. They recruited a Bosnian assassin called Gavrilo Princip. He was the man who eventually killed Franz Ferdinand. On 28th of June 1914, Franz Ferdinand and his wife Sophie were visiting Serbia. They were traveling with a group of vehicles called a motorcade. There were lots of people along the route who all wanted to see the future king and queen. The Black Hand had several people set up along the route to try and kill the Archduke. While they were on the way to the town hall, a man threw a bomb at the car. However, the bomb bounced off the car, and the Archduke and his wife were at that point unharmed. After this attempt, it was decided that the Archduke's convoy should change their route in case there were other people trying to kill him. Unfortunately though, on the return route, the motorcade took a wrong turn, and Gavrilo Princip was able to take a clear shot at the Archduke Franz Ferdinand and his wife, were both tragically killed. Why did this lead to the First World War? The Austria-Hungary government threatened to go to war with Serbia as it was people from their country that had killed their future king. Russia were on the side of Serbia. Austria-Hungary placed demands on Serbia. When these were not met, they declared war. Due to the alliances between countries, this meant that Germany defended Austria-Hungary. Germany then declared war on Russia to support Austria-Hungary. Consequently, France joined the conflict to help their ally Russia. Subsequently, Germany declared war on France. So as you can see, it's all about the alliances. It made all of the countries go to war together because they were alliances. Why did this lead to the First World War? On 4th of August 1914, Britain then entered the war to help their allies Russia and France. The First World War had officially begun. Can you predict the consequences of the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand? Can you suggest an arrangement of alliances that will reduce the likelihood of war breaking out? And these are additional learning sources. If you have any more questions, you can please send your teacher on Edmodo. You can send us a message so we can make it clear for you. And thank you all for listening. Thank you for being here. And inshallah, see you in the next sessions.